Hey everybody, welcome to Tales by Daggerlight. We are excited to get this journey started. We have gotten everything nailed down. We are professional. We have
not everyone.
We are a sailing ship. Well-oiled machine. Yes.
So many cogs.
And let us know how we did on that presence check about, being perfect.
Oh man, there are so many people that we could thank just that started us on this journey, that's helped us out, that we've used for guidance and sanity checks along the way. But we do have a few special people that we want to shout out, so I'm going to pass that over to Geoff.
Hey everybody, so we're going to start off with the easy thanks. Darrington Press and of course the cast of Critical Role for putting together this incredible game system of Daggerheart that we're going to be playing.
Yeah.
Woo!
Obviously, we might be here without them, but we certainly wouldn't be here with the enthusiasm that we have. So, excited to play the new system, excited for them to have come out with it, and looking forward to what happens there. We also need to give some shout outs to some of our vendors and those that have kind of helped us. So, LFG, Luck Factory Games in Concord, North Carolina, is where we've all met, and kind of how this all got started. We all started playing some RPGs there, and just decided this was a great idea, so hopefully you agree. And on top of that, we've been working with a couple of great folks. We've got the Legacy Game Tables that have this incredible table that we're playing on. If you haven't yet, check out some of the pictures that we'll be putting up on social media that will kind of showcase this incredible table that they've given to us. And Jenn, correct me, they have new branding, but they've kept the same name. Is that right?
Yes, so they used to be Carolina Game Tables, and now they are Legacy Game Tables, but the quality is not going anywhere. It is beautifully crafted.
And we are excited to have this to play on. It is so nice.
Very.
We also, speaking of things, need to shout out to SE Systems. They've done an incredible job, very professional with helping us out, selecting the equipment they're going to be using for our recording, giving us some advice on what we need to get, what's going to fit best for our situation, kind of getting started, and really just helping us along the way of making sure that we had everything that we needed to get going. So that's been incredible. We literally wouldn't be recording this without their assistance.
You're hearing us because of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, Glitz Dice. We've got some of their fancy dice here in front of us. They are rolling so much better than my own. So incredible. Go check them out. They are, I believe, just Glitz Dice on Instagram.
Instagram, yep.
And then, of course, we have our local artist, Kim J. Allman. He is Kim J. Allman on Instagram as well. He is doing our first commission of our group's artwork. So we're excited to see that. His artwork is incredible. So if you have any needs, wants, desires, reach out to him on Instagram. Let's see what we can do there.
It is TBD.
Hey.
But his work is amazing. It really is.
Yeah, kind of like
Kim's
old
awesome.
school, gritty, like RPG art. And
Fits well with the tone.
So many other people we could thank, but those are the ones that made my list for today. So to everyone else that I missed, thank you as well. And yeah, let's get this thing started.
This podcast owes its existence to Luck Factory Games, the board game cafe in Concord, North Carolina, where we first stumbled into Daggerheart, sat at a table, and somehow became a party. If you're looking for shelves of games and tables where quests begin, Luck Factory is the place. Start your legendary campaign at luckfactorygames.com.
In every city, every kingdom, there's a story that never sees the light. The one that falls through the cracks, bleeds through the floorboards, and smiles when the sun finally goes down. Where heroic promises, broken oaths, bad decisions, and desperate prayers all sit at the same table. 6 heroes emerge out of the edge of the shadows. Ciaran.
No matter what, there will be consequences.
Zeph.
That asshole.
Pinakua.
You said we were talking, but you're not saying it.
Seraphina.
Look, I have the voice of an angel. We all know.
Severian.
It's not a murder if he's food.
And Basagar.
We need to get to the castle.
Together, they walk the line between mercy and ruin, rolling bones against hope and fear in a world that wants them obedient, or worse, dead. So lace your boots, check your blades, and hold your breath. Meet us at the blade's edge. Once this story starts, it doesn't let you go. This is Tales by Daggerlight.
The sun bleeds into the sky above Virelia, staining clouds crimson and gold as dawn claws its way through the jagged peaks of the onyx spires. Shadows retreat reluctantly into the deep scars of the Terranian Gorge, clinging desperately to the dark places, whispering secrets of despair and ambition. Suddenly, a single clear note pierces the heavy air. A solemn, haunting bell from the bell tower beyond the ashram wall. One by one, the resonant sound of each ring echoes through the districts, counting off the grim tally of the surviving royal heirs. The entire city of Virelia holds its breath. Merchants pause mid-transaction, guards tense, their grip tightening on halberds, and the beggars, lords, spies alike freeze, united in dread expectation. 7 tolls. 7 heirs remain, same as yesterday. The anxious murmur ripples through the streets, rumors darting like frightened birds through a storm. Being born of royal blood in these dark times is as good as a death threat, and each heir is a candle flickering desperately in a violent tempest. With the king still lingering on the threshold between life and death, every breath could herald chaos or salvation. But fate, it seems, is not content merely to observe from afar. It calls upon unlikely heroes. And so, our gaze turns toward Basigar.
Oh, no.
You're welcome.
What do we see as we look on Basigar?
So Basigar is a wild-born Rizari druid. And Rizari in this world are mixed ancestries between a fungrel and a giant. Not necessarily crossbreeding, but just a larger than normal fungrel. Basigar is roughly 10 feet tall, has black bark-like skin, and a mushroom cap that is similar in appearance to that of the Devil's Tooth mushroom. Just slightly more dirty, off-white in color, and still has that similar pockets of blood that kind of goes throughout his mushroom cap. And yeah, that is Basigar.
Awesome. What is Basigar doing at this moment?
I believe, and you said that it is dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Basigar is probably still in his little patch of dirt behind the Blade's Edge Tavern, still just kind of observing at this point in time where he just sees the town comes to life.
You see at this moment, you may not even be fully conscious just yet, as you are literally grounding yourself into what little remains of natural soil here. It might even be where a tree once stood that is now either chopped down or used for wood somewhere else, or maybe even somebody chopped it down to use as firewood, on an alleyway somewhere. It's nature doesn't last long down in the Gutterrun. But you notice that there's a figure standing beside you. You might even think it just maybe Severian at first, just sensing somebody close by. But you look over and there's what looks to be a definitely smaller fungrel, much like yourself, wearing what looks like common clothes. He's got a bag of some sort and goes, excuse me, sir, are you going to be long?
Is this the first time I've seen a fungrel in Gutterrun?
Yeah.
I look and kind of just take a step back and like off of the little patch of dirt, and like you kind of see roots just kind of snap and not necessarily break as in like tearing something apart, but just kind of naturally release from the ground, and goes, I'm sorry, have you been waiting long? Or?
Yeah, well, just a few hours. I just need to communicate with my family.
And just kind of like awkwardly steps back, as taken aback by someone who's similar to Basigar, and just lets him go do his thing, and I will kind of go off in the direction of the Blade's Edge and find someone who's awake, or kind of the usual morning routine.
Yeah, he kind of gives you a odd look as you snap yourself out of this, as like there's still remnants of Basigar's body just like attached to the ground, and you can see he takes out a spade and starts digging up and kind of moving stuff around. He's taking like rocks and things, kind of like putting everything back to where it belonged. You get the sense that this might be his little safe haven of like he found this spot and he's taking care of it. This is his little moment of like his phone booth, if you will. And so you can see him kind of reach down, and his like mycelium tendrils kind of like reach out into the roots and kind of combine with yours almost, and you kind of get just a sense of connection, that maybe you're not alone in this odd city. It's definitely the most civilized Fungirl you've ever seen. You can see his eyes kind of go white, and he's communicating with somebody as you walk in. Severian, you typically follow Basigar around. Give me a glimpse of what Severian looks like at the moment, and what he might be doing as dawn breaks.
Severian isn't far, but he is intentionally trying to move unseen through an area of the Gutterrun where he can find breakfast. Being an Underborn, he's very comfortable with the shadows and the alleys and different things, although it's very different to where he came from. He's comfortable in the darkness. He's kind of looking for larger rats, cats, anything he can find that he can stomach for breakfast. Yeah.
As you move about the city, Gutterrun, it's seen its fair share of less than perfect people, but you are a new sight. Your just the way you hold yourself, your digitigrade legs that kind of bend backwards. There's a beastly form about you, but people give you a wide berth as you watch. As like there might be a urchin that kind of looks over, kind of like is like watching you from a corner and kind of like peeking his head around as you kind of like maybe even catch a rat and like mid chew, just like spin your head over and kind of catch this kid's gaze.
Exactly.
As one of the kids kind of goes, excuse me, what are you?
What kind of question is that?
I've never seen someone like you before.
Well, I've never seen anything quite like you before.
You've never seen a child?
You're a runt.
I say so. I'm nearly 10.
You should work on strengthening those muscles you have.
Where do you come from? I've never seen legs like that.
Some place where everyone looks like me and there are no people like you.
Do you have any bread?
No. Are you hungry?
Do you have any money?
No.
I can get some for you.
I have enough to take care of myself. Food is... And he just stuffs the rest of the rat into his mouth. Abundant here.
Oh, please don't do that.
You could do the same.
I could do that.
Yeah, it'll help you with these. Points to his muscles.
If I start eating these rats, I can be like you.
Exactly like me. I promise. It's a great method. As much as you can fit into your mouth at one time.
Oh, What?
Here, he grabs like a small one as he can find next to him. He just dangles it out in front of this kid.
He grabs it and it's like shaking in his hand and like squeaking, and he goes, "Just alive, I guess."
Why not?
I don't think so. It's going to hurt me. As he kind of looks at it and he kind of like runs off, and you hear him like talking. He goes, "That weird creature, he just told me to eat this thing home." And he goes, "I bet you won't do it. I bet you won't." It's like, "You know what? Watch this." And you hear like, and he kind of runs away.
Ciaran just chuckles and goes off in his own direction.
There are kids around here, urchins that call this place home, that seem to be watching everything you do. Seems like every tunnel you go down, every alleyway that you go in, there's always somebody nearby, maybe just kind of keeping an eye on you, which is odd. But where do you head off to after you're done with your morning breakfast?
I'd be ready to go back to see what the rest of the group is up to. Particularly Bassigar, to make sure he's had a nice meal and that he's full. But if you want me to describe Severian in more detail, I can kind of do that.
Yeah, please do.
Just so what anyone would see looking at Severian, as we had already stated, he has back-bent, almost like dog-like, wolf-like legs. He is covered in these thorny red briars. He is technically half elf, half human. It's like an ancient breed or ancient race that lived apart in their own civilization for a very, very long time. He's an underborn, and he is a Call of the Slayer warrior. So has a couple swords on his back that are also covered in briars. So just heading back to go meet up with the group.
Sweet. Yeah, we zoom out and see almost you guys from a top-down perspective of like you guys coming up into where the Blade's Edge is, heading that direction. Our sight takes us somewhere different, maybe to a different hovel, maybe a room, unfamiliar room. Ciaran, what are you getting into?
Ciaran is lying there, wide awake, unable to sleep as the bells toll. Clearly exhausted after a night spent doing a number of things, running messages, gathering information, whatever he needed to do. And unfortunately, the only time he had to sleep has been interrupted during these tolls of the bell, which he simply cannot ignore. And as he lie there wide awake, he starts thinking about what he needs to do going forward and how he's going to handle this interesting group.
You sitting there thinking, a voice breaks the silence. "Listen, I don't know what you plan on doing next. This news that you have brought to me is unsettling at best." May not even realize she was in the room with you. She has an odd way of showing up when she wants to and not being seen. Lady Sylvain Diowen steps out of the shadows, pillar of whispers. You know her very well. Her hair, midnight black, streaked with silver, eyes like polished obsidian. She's cloaked in dark silk robes, embroidered subtly with silver as she moves silently and gracefully towards you. "You've kind of put me at an awkward position. Do you know what this means?"
Lady Sylvain, this is my room.
I'm aware.
Unfortunately, this was news that could not wait, and while I did not exactly have a choice in the matter, I figured it best to let you know as soon as possible.
And you are sure you're keeping the names of the involved anonymous?
If the names need to come to the light, I will do so. For the time being, however, I would prefer it so.
They will not be happy. They will demand a show of force. Someone will suffer for this.
I am aware. I simply hope to be the one to choose who is to suffer.
See how well you can hold these secrets. See how well you can pass them off.
I will do as I can.
Do you know who was involved?
I am aware of them.
Lying through omission is a very clever trick. You will do well.
I'm simply doing as you taught.
It is getting rather tedious out there to stay in the shadows. I feel like there's something moving. I haven't quite placed it yet, but our time frame may be shortened.
Do you have any other knowledge you would like to impart before I make my way down?
Knowledge is not so much freely given, but earned. Let me have this conversation with the Ferocious. I will let you know how it goes.
Thank you, Lady Sylvain.
And she kind of backs up. A shadow washes over. Could be somebody walking by, creating a shadow through the windows. Blink and she's gone. Disappears. Into a corner of a room. There's no door there. There's not even a window over there. But she's gone.
Ciaran lets out a heavy sigh and starts going through his morning rituals before starting to head back out, down to the Blade's Edge.
Our view kind of gets pulled back out from the window as we watch, as you finalize some things and kind of put some of your effects into a bag and start packing up, getting ready to head down to the Gutterrun. As we move to Pinakua, where does the camera take us? And what part of the city are you currently in?
I think the camera just zooms right out past the city walls, passing a strange figure hanging off the side of a building down in the lower echelons of the city, as a black figure stands perched precariously on the edge of a building, not quite at the top, just low enough that you have to be standing on a broken tile or something. There's nothing there to stand on. And as it pans back in, we see an onyxkin, which is a mix between I'm going to have to think about it because it's not the thing I was about to say. A clank and a fawn, as he's been carved in the shape of a mountain goat from the stones harvested from the Onyx Mountains out to the west, there you go. He's dressed rather plainly. He's got some plain leather armor on, some appears to be an attempt at wearing clothing, bow strapped across his back as he just peers off into the sun, trying to catch the first rays of morning light as they come through, listening to the sound of the bells and just looking out over the city.
You see over there, it's quiet where you are, as you are standing here trying to reach, and as the sun starts cresting over the onyx spires and brings back old memories of when you were in the spires themselves, doing the same thing. Of course, it was a little easier to catch the rays. You're not down in the gorge like you are now, where it takes a little while for the sun to actually get to Virelia itself, but
been waiting for at least hours.
Yeah. Awkwardly, you stand there, where you hear a
ears twitch.
Your ears twitch as you look over.
Around.
There's a mountain goat just sitting right beside you, just kind of like looking at you awkwardly.
Just look back, kind of raise my head up a little bit. Wave.
It kind of like just looks at you, and he's just like chewing his cud, and just like whatever was in his crop was just chewing whatever. Kind of like stands and kind of bounds off. It looks like he's got some type of collar or some tag that is around his neck. He just kind of like leaps and just starts prancing and pouncing up the onyx spire. As you look over, as you see a figure standing there with a large shepherd's hook, silhouetted by what is the orange glow of the morning sky. You are not where you're supposed to be.
Where am I supposed to be?
You do not look like you are made for this area. Are you lost, boy?
I am not lost. I am not found, I suppose. I am neither. I am seeking.
Who do you belong to?
No one that is here.
No one that is here. Where is your owner?
Not here.
Who is your owner, if I may ask?
You may ask. You may not get an answer.
Ah. Interesting. I have not seen a version of you in quite some time.
Yes, well, it is rare that we come down from the mountains. There's much to do.
Oh, you are on a journey.
Well, sure.
You must make haste. You are not made for resting.
But rest makes the mind ever so clear.
It is an interesting phrase coming from you.
Certainly. Well learned.
Well met indeed. What is your name?
It is Pinakua. Though you may call me Kua, it is much to say.
Kua, it has been a pleasurable morning indeed meeting the likes of you.
And your name?
My name is Keen Eye Vivine. I am on a journey myself to find rare gems and trinkets.
Well, may your path be clear and your route well-traveled, though not so well-traveled that you miss what you seek.
I will remember that. Be on your journey, Pinakua. This is my property.
Oh, yes. Well, let me away.
If you need anything, please come find me.
Certainly. And
it would be a pleasure to meet your master.
We can see if that can be arranged.
Good. He just kind of like, he's got like a long goatee, and he just kind of like strokes his goatee a little bit. You can tell he's kind of a fawn as well. You can tell he's got fawn shapes, like the square eyeballs, and but he's kind of like just kind of scratching his goatee thing, just watching you.
And I'll won't dally too long. I'll turn and start hopping back down the side of the building.
Yeah.
As I would with any hunter when tracking prey, and not immediately go the direction that I intend to.
Sure.
I think I'll head to... Now that the sun is out, I expect that my new friends and compatriots and other such names that maybe we can learn down the way
okay.
might be gathering at the Razor's Edge. So I'll go to meet them and hopefully do so while it's still quiet.
Our camera watches as you bound and leap across these awkwardly impossible ledges to stand on, as you just do it with ease, heading down the whatever kind of mesa, or like the rock cropping that you find yourself in from Keen Eye's property lines. As we watch you kind of bound towards the city gates and zoom over the wall, heading down towards the Blade's Edge as we see a crickety old sign squeaking just on its last leg. It seems like hanging from its original perch. We go into the Blade's Edge and we find Seraphina. What is Seraphina doing as we find her?
Well, Seraphina, the highborn fairy troubadour bard, is currently in a room, burritoed up in blankets, fast asleep, because she was performing last night downstairs. So she has, in the small chair next to the bed, has all of her clothes folded very neatly with her boots laying next to it, and she is just completely wrapped up in the blankets and fast asleep. She probably won't wake up until closer to noon, seeing how she was performing till about 4 a.m.
as you are sleeping, the camera decides not to disturb you at the moment. But you can see you are pleasantly knocked out, unconscious, willingly, thank God. But as we kind of go through, the camera searches for a bit. It's hard to find where Zeph is. Where is Zeph?
So Zeph is average height, kind of scrawny human, kind of forgettable. Dark hair, perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, wearing clothing that was once fine, but is certainly threadbare. A large, long coat, very well-worn boots, good for running. And the camera finds him in a smoke-filled room filled with people in the Ember Coil. And as I said, everything about him just is somewhat forgettable, old clothing. He doesn't even carry himself with much of an air of authority or an air of really much confidence. But one can see every now and then under his jacket, under this coat that he wears, there's a scabbard, and there is a very, very finely wrought blade at his side that he tries to hide and keep away. And I would like to, first up, start the session by rolling my prayer dice.
Nice.
Okay, we'll keep those there. And Zeph also is rolling dice in the Ember Coil.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of coin in his pocket, and it was burning a bit of a hole, and for the first time in a very long time, he found himself up until he isn't any longer, as is pretty much his history with this place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to lose yourself down here in the smoke. As you look down, you just instinctually check your coin sack that you keep with you. You're down to about 2 handfuls of gold. It's maybe started a little heavier than that. Maybe you've decided to keep even, but you are at a table. Much like this, there's people here that have been burning the candle from both ends. There's nobody here has come in the morning to be here. They've all been here throughout the night. They all have a reason to be here. They all have a reason that they need the money for. Maybe to pay off debt, maybe for an addiction. Who knows? But there's several people around here. But as you kind of go through and one of the gentlemen goes, "Yeah, I can't lose this place. I can't lose tonight, this morning, whatever the fuck it is."
Who knows, friend?
I don't know, but you can see that his hands are shaking a little bit. He's sweating. He's down to maybe less than a handful of gold. He's got just a few coins left, but he's almost in desperation. He looks at his dice. All right, I got one more hand. I think this is it. This better be it. He goes through, grabs some dice. We're gonna just do a quick little dice game here. Grab 2d6. We'll do 2d12. Well, why not? For the nature of the game here.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna roll 2d12. As he puts in, he puts his coin in. It looks like he throws in about 5 coins in there, and he is hiding his dice that he rolled. All right.
So Zeph will throw in a full handful.
All right. And so you call what he is, you raise another 5 gold as other people start going around. Why don't you go, let's get everybody. Roll 2d12. We'll throw everybody here. First rolls that we're going to do is gambling. Yeah, let's set it off right. Set the tone.
It's gambling.
All right. So what we're doing is we're going to go for the highest total from your 2d12, and this isn't going to be hope or fear or anything. It's just high is what we got. But we're going to go through. Y'all don't have any money to spend because you are weird NPCs at this point. But you see, people start kind of throwing in based off of what your rolls are. Would you fold or call? We'll start with Kai.
I fold.
You see this unnamed NPC as Zeph throws in a handful, just like throws his dice across the room and leaves.
Yeah, this is too rich for my blood. And my character folds too.
I'll see your bet. I think I've got this one in the bag.
All right, so you call a handful of gold from your guy.
Arms shaking and can barely keep himself. I got a really good hand. I'm going to stay in.
All right, and he goes, well, I can't do anything. I'm all in. So this is all I got. I guess we'll have to show. I got 12.
13.
Fuck.
You can roll that high?
Oh, well, my dear friends, I've got a 16.
the obvious hustler of the group.
Yeah.
All right, so this guy kind of storms off and goes, "Yeah, fuck this place." As you watch, Tavern comes over. He comes behind this guy, kind of stands up and goes, "All right, my friend, looks like your luck's out." And he goes, No, I got the money, I swear, I'll get it. He goes, "That's the last time I hear that. Come with me." As you see some of the serpents that kind of come over, grab this guy by the shoulders and drag him up. He goes, no, please, just don't touch my family. And kind of pulls him out. And he goes, "Spend your money wisely, my friends." Hey, Zeph.
Oh dear, his luck must be as bad as his hands.
How you doing?
Doing well. Business is good as usual.
I see that.
You're here early.
Late? Who knows?
What's got you in your bunch this time?
Had a little jingle in my pocket. Figured, why not spend it in good company?
You still owe me some of that jingle.
I mean, I feel like the house has taken a fair cut tonight.
He kind of looks down at the pot and sees the dealer, whatever he's going to. I guess one of the house serpents is collecting the pot, and he goes, "Yeah, it has. It has."
Look, I'll get it to you. I'm good for it.
I know you're good for it. Trust me. I'll make sure you're good for it.
I know.
I've heard some chatter go about. Last couple days.
What kind of chatter?
You haven't been in anything royal, have you?
Royal? He spits on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of the spireheads up there.
Just make sure it doesn't come down here.
Of course.
He kind of looks over at the guy that won and goes, "Next few rounds are on me." Kind of walks away.
Oh, well, these folks are quite pleasant.
Can I borrow some?
Well, you could certainly win some if you try better.
Yeah, just one more chance.
And with that, I think Zeph his taste for the evening has grown stale. So he'll wander his way back through the streets, heading to the Blade's Edge, looking like absolute ass.
Down to one handful of gold.
Down to one handful of gold, which is all I have on my sheet. So.
Beautiful. So we open up to these unlikely heroes separated from everyone. I gave you guys full open table to put yourselves together, and you chose to be isolated. So, but all moving to one central location to see what the fuck is up with that. As you come down to the blade's edge, you see that Marin is working with Blake, and Blake is behind the counter. He's wiping it down, getting ready for the smoked meat and the smorgasbord for breakfast that's being laid out for the few patrons of the inn of the blade's edge. But as he comes down, as the first door opens, and we see Basagar coming in as you enter the inn. Blake looks up and goes, "What's up, big guy?"
Good morning. I think Basagar kind of has a routine where, knowing that Seraphina probably performs later, he goes and grabs a plate of food that's ready for breakfast, knowing that she's not going to probably eat it until later, but just that's what he does, as he's used to Severian doing the same thing for him. He's also now returning the favor of preparing and getting ready for Seraphina. So he nods to what's his name again?
Blake,
and grabs the plate of food. And you see this time though that Basagar is a little bit distracted as he grabs the food and starts to walk up to Seraphina's room.
I would say, Severian, you're not far behind. Fate would have it that you all kind of arrive very close to the same time, one after the other. You see each other kind of walking in, but Severian, you walk in as Blake and Marin are kind of standing there. You watch as you see Basagar maybe just go right around the staircase going up to Seraphina's little apartment, I would say, maybe a studio apartment at this point that Marin is kind of blessed you with for performing on stage to bring in patrons and keep business flowing, keep people happy. As long as people are coming back, you have a room to stay here. So, but you guys each enter the Blade's Edge as you see a smorgasbord of breakfast platters and meats and fruit and coffee, teas, all kinds of stuff that is being displayed that is known for the Blade's Edge.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I'd probably routine at this point. Walk in Seraphina's room. I'm very quiet. As big as I am, there's little to no sound when I move, and just kind of put the food out, just cover it, it's already covered, put it on the countertop, and just walk back out.
I think Ciaran would arrive through a back door that may or may not exist. Nobody's really sure. I'm trying to pull Lady Sylvain, but as he notices how many of the others have already arrived, he mentally tags each of them and tries to go asks Blake to kind of prepare something for this particular group, and that we'll need a table.
You got it. Yeah, I got a table reserved over there for you. It's in the corner, just like you said you like it.
Always.
If there's anything I can need or get you, just let me know. You need anything special that I don't have ready?
Just coffee.
I'll make sure I put on an extra pot.
Or two.
And right on cue, Zeph stumbles through the front door, bleary-eyed, stinking of smoke and alcohol, and just finds a seat to heavily sit down in, and just...
if you're gonna... Not there. That one's not... Go to the corner, please.
All right. He drags himself up and heads off into the corner.
At least wipe your feet off. That's...
sorry. He goes...
Yeah.
He actually does.
Yeah.
And Ciaran in his very neat and clean finery, like not expensive clothing, but very well made. It points to the opposite chair, like as far away from him as possible. Pretending, like doing it courteously, but not like...
Offering a seat, just not the closest one.
Yeah. Zeph will just sit down hard and in on it and just kind of deflate a little bit and just relax a touch.
Shortly after that, everyone will hear kind of a clack on the roof and a couple of just another thud right outside the door. Then Cool open the door. Hi, everybody.
Seraphina, you are still slumbering, none the wiser. Maybe as you are in your sleep state, not even realizing it at this point, but maybe the smell of the food doesn't even wake you. Whatever dream you are having, you just dream that you are just surrounded by this aroma of sausage and meats and potatoes and it's just these different things you might it becomes this fever dream of you're talking to a potato and like a sausage that says it's time to eat, you gotta wake up.
Kind of slowly opens her eyes, peeking around, and she goes, "Oh, it's still this hideous room." She kind of peeks an eye open again and looks, and like through the drapes she can see sunlight streaming in.
It definitely does not look like the sunlight you want to see.
Yeah.
This is a early
morning
orange
sunlight.
Golden sunlight.
And she sniffs. Oh, that smells like breakfast. All right, girl, up we got. And she gets out of bed and she very carefully puts all her clothes on, and she goes over to a very tiny broken mirror that's hanging on the wall that she had to basically bribe Blake to find from wherever he found it. And she fixes her hair and puts her jewelry on and lifts the corner of the napkin and looks at the plate and goes, "Oh, that's where the sausages came from. Okay." She scoops the plate up, checks the room, bed's a mess, doesn't tidy up or anything. She looks very clean and neat and stuff, but the room is a mess. Opens the door, shuts it, locks it with the key that Blake gave her, and comes down the stairs. And so as she enters the room, you guys see a very short, she is 5 foot if she's standing on a box, curvy little fairy with these wings of a Luna moth on her back. She's got nice clothing. You see her black leather boots that are just over her knees, and like a short kind of plum-colored skirt and corset with like a little blouse underneath it that's like a seafoam green that matches her eyes. And then all of her jewelry, she's got earrings that have chains up to another earring at the top point of her little pointy ears. And she enters the room, looks over at the table and goes, "Well, it's good to see that the usual suspects are all here. Good morning, guys." And she sits down and uncovers her plate and just picks up one of the sausages and takes a big bite of, "So how was everybody's evening?"
Before Basagar can reach the table, Severian pulls out a couple chairs for him.
Yeah, and he just kind of like shoves it together and like sits down.
And then Severian kind of just curls up in the corner closely, but not exactly sitting. Just kind of hunched over, almost like a dog.
Ku is sitting in the chair, just not on the part that he's supposed to.
Sit on the back of the chair.
Sitting, feet in the middle, up on the back of the rest.
Perched.
And Ciaran's sitting like straight backed, leg propped up on his knee, almost daintily sipping on a drink. Well then.
Was just chewing away. It's been the same loaf of bread for like 10 minutes now.
Eat up, drink up. We have much to discuss. I'll give you some time.
I don't know if time's going to make any difference, but all right. And he's mostly sticking to like bread, some greasy sausages, potatoes, things that do well with soaking up alcohol and kind of that morning after you're still like somewhere in between drunk and hungover, but just need something in your system, like that kind of just slowly chewing and managing to get it down.
You can see that there is a just half-wit, like, you know this person. This is the morning talent, probably already drunk, whether it's either from the night before or starts early, but just an older guy that comes in, starts like picking at whatever strings are left on his lute. Minor tone, maybe one of them is tuned, but it's just discordant. Just a standard little jaunty strum that matches any seedy tavern, as people are just kind of like, oh, guys. Blake, when you gonna hire a new talent, man? It's Seraphine. Are you sure you can't get on now?
I'm having my breakfast.
I know, but we gotta listen to this jackass.
Sweetheart, could you at least tone your instrument?
Yeah, I can tune it. And you just hear doing, 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 doing.
Oh no!
It starts going into like this weird tuning thing, and you get hiccups, and finally, like about 5 minutes later, he finally gets some type of minor tuning on it, to where it sounds a little better, and he goes, "How's that? Is that better?"
It's less offensive. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one, but this is definitely a preview of one of the layers of the hells. I'm convinced. This is my future.
As he goes in and just starts, just like picking. Eventually, he finds his rhythm where he gets into it. And he starts warming up.
Well, Seraphina will get up and head down behind the bar into where their little kitchen is and come back out with another big pot of coffee and set it on the table, pour a big mug, shove it at Geoff, and then pour herself one and sit down and start drinking her coffee.
Geoff will pour a little shot from a glass into the coffee and then start drinking it.
Nice.
Ciaran looks like he's almost about to stop you from putting the shot in, then thinks better of it and just sits back.
Wouldn't want to dirty his hands.
No, Geoff's probably going to need it, is what I feel.
So, what'd you all do?
Same thing I do every night.
Try to take over the wall.
Oh, my, thank you. I was like, I gotta
Yes. No, just kidding.
It's short. If it's less than 30 seconds, it's fine.
Just watching the city.
Watching it do what?
Live.
Huh. All right.
It's not doing a great job of that, for sure.
No, it's really not.
That's true. That's true. What are you doing about that? I'll look over to
Well, I'm glad some of you had such a pleasant and relaxing night.
I slept so good.
I don't know about pleasant or relaxing. There was definitely a table last night that was real handsy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
At least you didn't have to clean up certain activities of certain members or individuals at this table.
Oh, yes. Can you get us to the castle? That's what you were working on, right?
I can try. I had a few other minor priorities over that, though. Such as dealing with the murder of a noble.
No.
Didn't murder him. I hate him.
Murder is, and there's that too. There's no body.
Oh, that.
I ask that you not say anything like that would implicate you.
Well, it's not a murder if he's food.
Tell that to his family.
I would go so far as to say it was self-defense, and he was an asshole, and he deserved it.
Could you look two grieving parents in the eyes and call their son an asshole, and that you killed him?
Depends on the asshole.
I could at least tell him that he looked like a big old pile of shit last I saw him.
I guess actually it depends on the parents.
Is there something you need to do about this situation?
Look, no matter what, there will be consequences. As, well, not to be full of myself or anything, but as capable as I am, even some things are far beyond me.
Well, I have a question. So, because I wasn't there, but they kind of filled me in on it. So,
how many people did you tell?
He was...
Just everyone here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just,
Go on.
But if he was roughing up one of the girls at the Vale, right? So maybe... I was just thinking that maybe with enough money or... whatnot, that we could convince them to tell them that instead of him being killed, they just asked him to leave, and they have no idea where he went after he left, but he was very drunk when he left. And then he just disappeared. People disappear.
That's true. You do it all the time.
That is true. I mean, sometimes when we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Look, I appreciate the train of thought. However, that is not the way nobles typically think. As I'm sure you are aware.
Fucking Skybloods.
They would rather burn the place to the ground than hear such things and accept them.
Yeah.
See, to them, anyone in this entire district is, pretty much worthless. Whereas the worst of them, well, they'll go to insane lengths to protect.
I did notice that about this place. This area that you call Gutterrun is ignored by the rest of its home.
Yeah.
It's rather sad.
That's one word for it.
While there's credit to your words, I would avoid such sweeping generalizations, if you don't mind.
I'm just calling it like I see it. How I've always seen it, having grown up here. And when I say here, I mean, and he points outside, here.
Regardless, the reality of our situation is not ideal.
Yeah, you're right.
So, first things, please do not tell anyone else of anything that has transpired. Not how it happened, not what happened, not who it happened to.
I ain't said shit.
Secondly, you may or may not be called in for some degree of questioning.
10 cloaks? Really?
Not exactly.
What are you talking about?
The less we involve the guards, the better.
Very much agreed.
This will be different. If it happens at all, it's not yet to be determined. None of your names are known anywhere yet.
So what are we talking here, Ciaran?
As I'm sure you can appreciate, the city is full of individuals who are connected. And among those connections, some of us have a certain web of information that we like to keep active and open at all times. Word spreads quickly about these sorts of things. So I'm simply asking for you to be very, very careful about how you go about, well, anything at the moment.
You're saying a lot of words, but I'm not hearing an answer in any of that.
Tell me, if you were handed the biggest steaming pile of shit in your entire life and told to simply have an answer for it, what would you do?
That is a literal question.
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
I would throw it back at the person who handed it to me.
You mentioned something about being questioned. I'm just curious who's going to be doing the questioning.
Well, preferably me.
Oh, well, that's fine. What do you want to know?
I believe I know all the pertinent details already.
Cool, we're done. Next.
That was easy.
Yeah.
That was really easy, so we're done. We're good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
No, I don't think we are.
Ciaran leans back, takes a really deep breath. And
I was the only one to answer the question.
yes, you were, Severian. I don't think you want me to do that.
Well, you're not holding shit now, are you?
Physically, no.
At this point, you hear the bells go off where the door opens. There is a cloaked figure. Doesn't have. He kind of like pulls his cloak off of his head and kind of shakes off what looks to be some type of rainfall. Now that the rain has started to go over, as you look outside, and sure enough, it is raining. It's not downpour by any means, but it could change within the hour. But this gentleman walks over, kind of leans and saddles up to the bar, kind of gives like a once over, and kind of like looking behind his shoulders, leans in to Blake. I can say looks like he's saying something to Blake, and Blake kind of like looks in and like looks around, shakes his head. At that point, I'm going to say this half of the table. Zeph, Kua, and Ciaran, since you're facing that way, you see a gentleman, maybe didn't even realize he was there, but gets up from a table that's maybe 2 tables away from you, puts on a cloak, pulls his hood up, doesn't make any eye contact with anybody else in the room, and walks out.
That was normal, right? That people do that around. I mean, Ciaran does it all the time.
I mean, what's normal?
Ciaran does it all the time. Is that a problem?
Did any of us recognize this individual at any point?
Was he there the night before?
It's hard to tell based off of looking at the back of him. So give me an instinct check. It'd be perceive, or I'd say instinct or knowledge, so you can recall.
I'll do instinct.
I'm gonna do 2 because I was performing the night before. She would have been like going through, working the crowd in between.
First roll of the real roll of the session.
And I got a crit.
Hey! Double 10, starting off right. So go ahead and gain a hope. You should start with 2 already.
Yep.
Everybody starts with 2 hope here. So you don't have any stress to clear, so that's
the one
good.
hit and hit the other one. Okay, let's try this again for real. That sucks. The other roll was way better, but that's fine. That's a 8 with fear.
8 with fear. I will track that fear, which brings my total up to 7 now, since we all start with 6, because there's 6 of you guys. The crit. Let's go over that first. You're familiar with the inner workings of the Gutterrun. You know the subtle body language that some of the less than favorable people have. It is a very common tactic whenever you're trying to get information from a guild, or a guild is trying to get information that they have multiple sources. That transaction was weird. That guy coming in and a guy leaving almost simultaneously. You recognize that. That's there's something there. As far as if you know who it was based off of last night. Not quite sure. I mean, they all, some of the guys kind of start blending in at some point as the more you drink and the more.
Seraphina doesn't drink. She pretends that she
pretends
drinks.
She does. Okay, nice. But it comes to a point where, as you're focusing, as you're looking, you notice that you're zoned out trying to recognize or trying to figure out who this is, and then your vision catches your focus, and you are staring right at this guy that just walked in as he's kind of like looking back and staring right back at you, as he sees now that everybody kind of like looks at you, especially Geoff, and the whole table is now looking at him. He gets up, shakes off, slides a very undrank beer, or maybe Bloody Mary, you'll say Bloody Mary, back across the table, gets up and walks out.
So as he gets up and starts to walk out, I think after it being awkward, Seraphina catches that something's weird about this. So I would like to try and enrapture him and get him to stay.
Okay. All right.
So I got a spellcast roll for that. So for spellcast roll, I don't remember how this works.
So you're gonna roll your 2d12,
right?
And then you're rolling against his difficulty, and so his difficulty is 12. So you gotta add your spellcasting trait,
Presence. Okay.
Yeah, which is presence as a bard.
15,
which beats his difficulty of 12.
Okay.
15 with hope or fear.
Oh, I think it was hope.
I was higher.
Oh, it was fear. Okay.
With
Thanks.
fear.
Sorry.
So as you cast your spell.
Right. So like she gets up off from the table and walks like towards him as he's kind of heading toward the door, and she like reaches out and put a hand on his arm, and she goes,
I'm sorry, excuse me. I was just curious, you look so familiar. Were you here last night or the night before? I perform in the evenings, and I don't know, there's just something about you. You seem familiar. What's your name?
As you're talking to him, you feel like you can kind of see his eyes almost dilate to a certain amount, knowing that your spell has taken, as he has given you all of his attention. He stops and he's staring directly at you. You can see that his rough, shadowy beard, he's got almost like a gaunty face. It almost looks like it's peeling at some point. It might be diseased. That you're not quite sure.
Gross.
But he kind of like stops. He looks at you. Oh, I know you. I know what you are.
Well, tell me then, sweetheart. Who am I? What am I?
He like kind of shakes his head a little bit, and I'm going to spend a fear.
Aside from the fact that I'm the best thing that's ever happened to this place.
He's going to spend a fear to end the spell. So he kind of looks over, he kind of shakes his head. You can kind of see he's got like some type of needle or something in his hand, and he kind of like jabs it into his wrist just to like give that little shot of pain to as a forced way to break out of a trance of some sort. And he kind of like stops and goes, and then he like purposefully doesn't look at you. We know who you are. We've seen what you've done. Oh, you are in for it. And he goes through and goes, and he kind of stops, and he looks at as the last moments of your spell has dispersed from his enrapturedness. He kind of stops. I've said too much. Fuck. He looks and he kind of like goes and he opens the door kind of looks at all of you. Oh, you are going to pay for what you did.
At this moment, I'm going to spend a stress to shadow step directly behind him into his shadow.
He shuts the door. As you step behind him, you appear. He kind of turns. He runs into you. Fuck, what the hell?
Let's talk.
How about no? And he's going to go to try to dart away from you. He's going to run.
So if he's going to run, I'm going to make a scene.
Okay. Let's make a scene.
Oh, wait. No, I can't. Dang it. I need an extra hope. Okay, sorry.
I'll use one of my prayer dice to give you one hope.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
So I'm out of hope then. So I'm going to make a scene. I'm going to distract a target within close range, which we're standing right there with him, giving him a -2 penalty to their difficulty for him to try to get him to stay. So I'm going to be like, you told me that you would love me forever, and now you're just gonna leave, and I'm so heartbroken. And what about the little ones? You're just gonna leave them too?
Blake goes, what the fuck?
I think Vasagar is going to start to walk towards all of this.
Okay, using that moment, I'm going to whip out my grappler and attempt to hook him and keep him from going any further.
All right, so give me an attack roll with your grappler as he goes to run away, which -2 to his difficulty, so now his difficulty is now 10.
That's double ones for a crit.
Double ones. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, man, the best crit ever.
Right?
Okay, what happens?
So I whip my grappler out and immediately just launch it right at him, and it wraps around him, and I pull him in. He is yanked towards me, unable to get away, as it were, as everyone else comes up around him.
Yeah, fuck. Look, I don't know what you're up to, but look, you won't get away with this. Do with me what you will, but
help me with him, please. And I just open the door again, drag him inside, and
just pick him up.
I keep my grappler wrapped around him, try to tie a quick knot around it.
So are we going to try to take him into a back room to talk to him?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so
yeah, Blake's like, look, just don't, whatever you do, just don't do it in here. I got a business to run. Marin hates it when you guys do this.
It's good. It's good. We're going in the back.
Just clean up after yourselves.
Yeah, there's nothing to clean up. Nothing happened, right, Blake? Nothing happened.
I'll make sure there's nothing to clean up.
And as Seraphina follows the boys back, she just reaches over and hands Blake a handful of gold that she made last night.
All right.
For your discretion, Blakey.
You're never here.
I never am.
All right. Don't worry about it, folks. It's happens all the time. We got it taken care of.
And she kind of waves her hands and goes, don't worry, we're going to get the child support. It'll all work out.
He is an asshole.
You hear a woman kind of smacks her husband on the side and goes, yeah, I told you. And see, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, you take this guy in the back room. He's kind of fighting up against your strength. He's going to spend a fear. That's probably not a good spot for those. I'll just leave him there. He's going to spend a fear to break free of the resistance that you are now giving him, and I'm going to use that moment to. He's going to break free of your grasp. He kind of does the whole dead weight thing. He kind of breaks through, throws himself on the ground. You hear what sounds like an unsheathing of some type of dagger, and he goes through, and he's going to try to slice at your ankles. To try to Man, you roll a crit, I roll a crit. Let's go. Let's go. Natural 20. I feel like it's harder for me to roll a crit on a D20. I feel more excited. Like that's amazing.
Significantly harder.
Significantly harder. All right, so Daggerheart crits, especially dealing with damage, are brutal critical, so that is max damage die, which is 12 for a 2d6 plus the roll. 12 plus 9, you're looking at 21 points of damage as he rakes the dagger across what would be, he's assuming you have like Achilles tendons, and he's not quite sure, but does some damage. How do you negate that if possible? Are you taking full amount?
Yeah, I think so. Actually.
Not going to use an armor slot?
No, I'm going to do something else. And as you see that this damage, like as he kind of drops down and slashes at my ankles, this is the first time that I believe probably Severian's seen this once before. But all of a sudden, let me just read this first and see if I'm doing it right.
Read it out loud, please.
This is the Rune Ward. I have a deeply personal trinket that can be infused with protective magic, and held as a ward by you or an ally. I can spend a hope to reduce incoming damage by 1d8. Okay, so nice. I'm gonna spend a hope.
Yep.
And then there's more to it, so let's see what this is first. It's 4, so I'm reducing the damage by 4.
Okay.
So that's
17.
17. So it's still severe damage for me. But what happens specifically is an emanation of magic shoots out from my chest, and you see that this is kind of there's an emblem that kind of radiates or kind of shows up from my chest, and that is the image of the Castle Gorlich emblem. Kind of like, I guess you would say, like the royal seal,
right?
Shows up and just kind of covers my body. It still hurts to the point where I do drop to a knee from that pain. As I guess you would probably say that the ward didn't activate in time, as I suffer severe damage. So yeah.
Okay.
Are we in the back room at this point?
Yeah, He as soon as you were in the back room, he knew what was happening, so he's trying to break free. And
when Geoff sees this, he steps forward and unsheathes his sword. So immediately, runes all along the blade begin glowing brightly.
Yeah.
And he levels it at this guy and says, I really wouldn't if I were you.
Holding Basigar's legs still.
Drop it.
I think what he's saying is,
mine's bigger.
Stop, and I'm going to cast Vicious Entangle.
Okay.
So that is a spell casting roll. It will be with fear. That is a 14 with fear.
14 with fear. He stops as he looks at the sword. You see his eyes, you almost see the runes that are shining off of Geoff's sword reflected in his eyes as you cast this spell as vine. Well, you tell me, what does your magic look like?
So since there's no vines in this room, there's no trees, there's no shrubbery, instead I'll use the bits of Basigar that have been lopped off, attach them to the wood planking on the floor, and kind of use that to pull the planks up and grab onto him, using the flesh that he's just cut as well as the wood around him to just wrap around him. If nothing else, Kua is resourceful and will use what's available.
Right, so it's almost like this mycelial growth that wraps around this individual. He kind of looks and goes, He's starts breathing heavy.
And Basigar has sharp skin, so it does do some damage to him as well. So it is 6 points of physical damage as well as restraining him.
Okay. That is minor damage for him. As you can kind of see him, like the roots are like kind of like growing into his, like tightening around, almost like kind of like piercing his skin and like growing through like almost like a root through soil. As he kind of pulls in, goes, and you can see him. He's like moving his fingers around, and he like gets down to like this one little button and kind of like pushes something, and another needle pops up, and he goes, "Fuck you guys," and he pushes the needle into his wrist. I'm gonna spend 2 fear as you see him like it starts foaming at the mouth. He kind of like pulls through, like the needle is like dripping with some type of viscous liquid as he's like he just kind of like goes limp.
Well, shit. Zeph will spend 3 hope to use Mending Touch. So he'll reach over to Basigar and heal him for 1 of his hit points. And you'll see...
Thank you.
One of the runes on his sword wink out.
Yeah.
Before the bodies even really hit the ground, Ciaran's already there, searching him for any symbol, anything he can find.
Yeah. It doesn't take long. I mean, he doesn't offer any resistance at this point. You go through, you can see that he's got like a bracer, if you will, that's got a couple different needles on it and like little buttons that could like kind of reach up to his palm that he can press to release a couple. There's like one more needle that looks like it's got some type of liquid inside of it. Not sure what it is at this point, but he does have the dagger that he used to slice Basigar's ankles with. He's got his cloak, but more significantly, you see that he does have some type of sigil, maybe on a amulet or a necklace that has what you ping instantly at its member of the guild.
Fuck.
A thieves guild, or
known as the guild. It's another one of the factions down here in the Gutterrun that have used information to gathering as a weapon.
okay.
What's Zeph's general relationship with the guild?
You've done probably some odd jobs here and there. I wouldn't say that you're a member of them by any means, but you are. But you've done some jobs for them. Yeah, you maybe worked hand in hand, or they used you to get somewhere. But they are, you know, that they are deeply interwoven down here in the Gutterrun. Not a lot goes on without their knowing, especially with that one guy that left. It seems like that is a way to constantly make sure that somebody doesn't get caught without being able to spread information.
Yeah. Well, this is less than good. So, see that amulet around his neck? It's part of the guild. They're pretty much all over the place down here. Done some jobs with them in the past, but they peddle information quite a bit. They know everything that happens down in the run. So, they've got their eyes on us. There's not going to be any getting away from them.
And you do find that he does have what looks like some type of mask in his cloak pocket that he just never got a chance to put it on. And the fact that you've seen this before, the guild rarely go without their masks. It is typically why they have the masks, as most of the guild members are sick in some way, which is why his skin was peeling, why he was gaunt. But you do find just like a black mask that almost like a masquerade mask that they could put on.
I should have seen the sign. Damn it. Fuck.
I quickly undo the wrist brace with the needles and ensure that there's nothing else of importance on him before looking to Severian. Like,
Ciaran kind of sniffs the guy, but
I don't know.
starts to like hack and like almost throws up on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if he should eat him. He smells bad.
That stuff is still in there.
fair point.
Should we cook him?
I do not and have never condoned the eating of, well...
You did just like 2 seconds ago.
Look, sometimes convenience outweighs the, morals.
So it doesn't matter as long as you don't put effort into it.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
Just like my effort of beating you all the time. None.
So, Ciaran, so what you're telling me is it's fine for him to eat poor people, but not rich people?
No.
And only uncooked.
Kinda.
You people think too hard.
I would prefer no people being eaten whatsoever.
I mean, I'm sure the people that get eaten would prefer that too.
Precisely.
But you seem to have a very big problem with the gentleman that our friend ate the other night, but not so much if he was to eat this guy.
It's not so much the fact that he was eaten, and more the fact that he was killed in the first place. I'd prefer nobody get killed in an ideal world. However, that is not what we are currently living in. And
that's true.
The death of such an individual tends to create far more problems, unfortunately, than the death of another. Of a lower station, one might say. As
so in short,
say,
yes.
Yeah.
That was a really long way to say yes.
It was.
No.
I think it's just a shame that all this good meat's going to waste. I mean, he's already dead. It doesn't matter where we bury him or cook him or...
We did promise to clean up, so we do need to do something.
We do need to do something like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From there, you actually see Basagar, the magic shield light is starting to fade away as he's been kind of tending, and it's more so doing it off of like almost like mimicry, just kind of he's seen people do this, so he's also now doing it, but he doesn't realize what's happening on his own self. First is that he's taken one of like probably the tablecloths of one of the tables in this room and just start wiping the blood, but not realizing that he is also leaving a trail of blood. And again, you've not really seen Basagar get hurt in this manner, but he is bleeding as if a humanoid was bleeding. And you see, as he's just trying to clean up the mess, kind of from in front of him, not knowing that there's trail of blood from behind him.
Hey, buddy. Hey,
no, we're cleaning, yes?
Yeah, but you're also messing. Have a seat real quick. Here, give me that. And Zeph tears a couple strips to use as bandages. Just hold still, and we'll begin to bandage the wounds so at least she's not bleeding everywhere.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. Sorry, that's as much as I can do right this second.
It's okay. It's more than enough.
It's a start. Let's put it that way.
So are all these guild guys like this? Are they all kind of jerks?
Yeah, and the weird part also is that sickness. They are all sick. Usually they're masked. Generally it's a dead giveaway.
Does this, as Zeph is saying they're sick, does this kind of look anything like Basagar has seen in his home?
Give me a knowledge.
I'm going to use my Spend Hope and use my Warden of the First Blood experience.
Okay.
All right, so knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And add your experience to it.
Is going to be a 19 with hope.
Ooh, nice to gain that hope back. You start rolling through your home back in Hamelwood in the Verdance Forest. You start kind of like, you're here for a reason. You're trying to figure out what's happening with, why things are dying, why things are withering, why something is causing this. You don't get a smell that smells familiar. This doesn't seem to be connected in any way that you know of, but it literally just could be a group of people preying on a weaker people.
Okay.
Do you guys have any idea of why this guy was watching us and the other one that left?
Does the guild have not a centralized location because they're kind of spread throughout the run, but do they have kind of a, like, if you wanted to get in touch with the guild, is there a spot where one would go?
The Hasp Market.
Fuck. Okay. Well,
do we think this has anything to do with the other guy?
I know where we can go to find out.
They walked in, said they know what we did, tried to get out. One of them is no longer going to be walking out. I think they might know something.
Yeah.
I mean, collectively, I feel like we've done a lot of things. No, you're probably right. Shut up. Don't give me that look. Fuck. All right.
While everyone's bickering, I might go up front and ask Blake, say, is there any barrels that you cleared out last night? I don't. They're taking too long in there, and I figure I'd just help you guys out. And you're always so nice to us. Just one of the empty ones. I'll just roll it out to the trash.
Yeah, there's an empty barrel in the back.
I'll take care of that for you. Don't you worry.
I'm not going to ask any questions. Plausible deniability. That's what I'm going for here.
Well, I already answered the question, though. I'm just taking the trash out.
Yes, please take the trash out.
I'm going to go roll the barrel and start scooping the body in.
Is the room that we're in, does it have like an outer door, or is it just like a window, or like...
Well, this is the Blade's Edge. This is your home. You tell me.
Well, I was kind of curious more so, like, what room were we in? Because, like, is it, like, one of, like, the like, back rooms that people can, like, rent to have, like, a private, like, party kind of thing? Or is it, like, the back storeroom? Like, what room were we in?
I'll say that there's one of each. Which room did you bring them to? I'll say, yeah, you took them.
I'd say probably just the storeroom.
The storeroom, yeah. So storage room, there's shelves.
Storage room.
There's,
Like, so there's probably then a door out to the back.
Yeah, going out for the...
Okay.
It's probably the door that you came in.
Yeah. All right. So, we can... Well, I'm not going to stuff them in the barrel, but you guys can.
I'm already stuffing.
Oh, man. I'll help. You ever see The Burbs?
The Burbs?
The movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
It's been a while.
Like old school where he's like shoving that body in the trash can or like that. Yeah, that's all I can picture. It's just... but yeah, you take out the trash as looks kind of like there's empty barrels and bags from all the other... feel like there is no trash day here. Like the trash just goes in the back and just sits.
Is there where is the Blade's Edge, like, in the castle? Is it kind of in the southern area close to the river? Is it...
Yeah, where?
Oh, I don't think we ever...
Blade's Edge, so it's in Gutterrun.
Yeah, Gutterrun. So that's the lowest.
It's the lowest area.
It is. I should have hooked up my TV and got it. But so Virelia is a city of tiers. You have the lowest tier, which is the South Light Quay,
Yeah.
Yep. Southlight Quay is the official name. It is called the Gutterrun. That's what it's known as from the people that spend most of their time down here. That is the absolute lowest ground level part of the city. It's not even part of the castle proper. And then you have the next tier starting on the mesa, on the plateau, which is Ashward on. So if I'm looking north, it's on the west side, and then Lowthorn is on the east side. And then there's another tier, which is kind of climbs the mesa even more, which is then that's Ash Realm. That is like the high class. That's where the nobles live. That's where the Ashen Rings live. And then there is a small, almost like a bridge gangway that goes up to the very top of this plateau, this mesa that, or like this large rock formation that they built Castle Gorlich on top of to overlook its kingdom.
Okay.
You are on the very bottom, so, and then like the castle like is just a straight wall that goes up, and you can kind of see like there's like a hangover duet that kind of like where they would announce and speak over their subjects.
So let me tell you my idea, and you tell me if this would make sense, or I can change what I was thinking. My thought process was I'd take advantage of the river, so long as it wouldn't have to traverse the entirety of the city.
Absolutely not. It flows from it goes from under the mesa or the plateau, goes through and exits out the Gutterrun.
Beautiful.
And then exits out because they don't want people to just dump trash in the river, then it get taken to the higher districts. So,
that's what I was thinking. So I would rather, instead of leaving it behind the building or anything, or trying to like put it at one of the other buildings, I want to take it down to the water and push it out and downstream. And I would like to keep an eye on it and make sure that it clears the city.
Okay. You take it down and you kind of like start pushing it around. And it kind of like bobs in the river. It kind of goes down, kind of like sinks for a second where you think it may not even come back up. And then it goes like bobs and like slowly the buoyancy is very slight, but it kind of keeps it up to where you can kind of see it going through. The Gutterrun is notoriously known for its scavengers. Things that float down the river from the higher districts. People like they scoop. There's people that literally just hang out on the sides of the river with ropes and grapples to get it through. So this thing is going to go through a stage of six zones where people are trying to grapple it, and I think you guys can kind of get where I'm going here.
Yeah.
I imagine that there's maybe a sound that we might often hear of almost a warning sound in Gutterrun, of like maybe guards are coming or something like that. I want to do my best, even being new to the area, to try and replicate that sound as I see them trying to warn them that this is not something that you want to be involved in.
So the difficulty of a barrel floating down the river full of body and like excrements, I'm going to say is probably just an easy 12. But with your assistance, go ahead and give me a, what would that be? A presence? So charm, perform, and deceive. So give me a presence roll. See how well,
Not very well. It will be with fear, and it is going to be an even 10.
Even 10 with fear. The calls are very specific. As you push the barrel in and you start to see people kind of like looking through, you can already see grappling hooks swirling. There's like the kids are like they're like hanging off the docks and like they're almost like chaining to each other, like they're like barrel monkeys to each other, like trying to like hang off and try to get as close as possible to where this barrel is. And you make that distress call like a bunch of like monkeys in a jungle, warning of a predator coming. As you give off the wrong signal. You give off the all is clear signal instead of like there are people coming through as you watch as people come out of hiding spots that you don't even know were there as they start kind of coming
more problems
through.
than I have solved this day.
You didn't realize how many people were around you, but you as kind of like barrels open as like kids start like looking around and start kind of like climbing out of different things like and all of a sudden you can see like man like there are no parents anywhere. These are all orphans. They're all child urchin probably has control. They all kind of like have some type of master that they report back to, but needless to say, the DC is still 12 as you watch through. So effort. It goes through the first stage of.
So would have any of the dredgers have seen him throw the barrel in?
Probably. They don't care. It's trash. It's one's man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah. They saw that it was heavy, so it could be something worth that they want to look at. Kai, go ahead and roll for the first pass of these kids. Is roll 2d12. This is just a reaction roll, not with hope or fear. 11 misses as it kind of like hits the barrel, bounces off, but it still continues to go. Jonn.
Oh man, that's 13.
13 it clicks onto the barrel. Now I'm not saying you guys are useless and can't do anything, but you're watching this as a kid.
Are we all there?
That depends. That's up to y'all.
I didn't invite anyone or say anything. I was just like, I'm taking out the trash, stuffed it in.
Yep.
Hey, that was mine. Give it back.
Ciaran is nearby.
A kid lassos it with a rope and starts pulling it in. And he goes, "Hey, I got this one. It's a heavy one." That's just
I think I would like to make myself a little bit more scarce at this point.
Well, that's their problem now.
Yeah. So you skitter away and don't wait to find out the results.
Yeah, you do look up and see Ciaran just head in hands, watching this entire thing go down.
It was a good idea.
It was an idea.
It was an idea. It was a good idea. Now, maybe you're still not used to the city. You don't know how the city operates. Now that you know, this is a scavenger city down here. Not a lot goes to waste. A lot of it gets reused, thrown away, reused by somebody else, and thrown away. The trash is almost like a recyclable product here.
I mean, in all honesty, they'll probably just strip the body of the clothes, keep the clothes, and ditch the body. So, not that big of a deal.
It's at least not sitting out behind the bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you watch and see what happens? No. Okay. All right.
I do want to. I just want to try and hide a little bit. I do want to try and kind of keep an eye on it as much as I can without exposing myself.
Sure. Yeah. If you're trying to hide without exposing, that'll be a finesse.
Use that one.
Also, it is the rain is starting to pick up a little heavier.
It's 6 with fear.
6 with fear. You go to hide. Hiding is not normally your strong suit.
No.
Perching on top of things. Tell me where you hide and tell me how you fail to hide.
Yeah, I think I'm so used to the mountains being the same color as me that I just go to the nearest solid surface and just kind of cartoon paste myself up against it, trying to match the crevices like I would normally do, not really paying attention to the fact that it's a completely different color. So now there's just a clank fawn just pressed up against a wall awkwardly, almost trying to match some of the patterns and the cracks in the wall, but just so obviously standing out, I feel like.
Yeah. You get to the point where you're just pushing yourself against the wall as you watch as a child hoist, it takes several of these children to hoist this barrel out of the river now that it's waterlogged and full of a body. But you as you watch as you see them coming over, then what looks like some type of an adult comes over, looks over, puts their hand on the kid, opens it up and shuts it really fast and looks around, and the kid taps him and points right at you.
I'm looking straight at them, thinking like I've done so well. This is what I've done every time. It always works.
Yeah. As you watch as the adult figure kind of like looks right at you, looks down at the thing, kind of like says something to the kids you can't see, and he just kicks the barrel in the water. Then you hear him call out something, make another call, and all the kids clear out of the river.
All right. I would like to leave.
On the inside, this might have been one of the first times I've seen Bassover get seriously injured, because I don't imagine you're doing much fighting. While we're cleaning up, blood and everything, I'd like to discreetly lick a patch of blood on the ground where Bassogar bled.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, discreetly as possible.
Yeah.
But I would just want to know whether it tastes like similar
rag
Street
tongue.
How does one discreetly lick blood off the floor?
I'm cleaning. I'm on the ground. I'm cleaning with whatever.
Really into
I'm already
scrubbing
bent
the ground.
over. I just want to know whether it tastes familiar.
Yeah. What is your finesse ability modifier?
+1.
+1. Okay, so you're not bad at it.
No.
So you're pretty good at stealth. I'll say you are able to not everybody is aware as you're kind of crawling down. You see it, and just curiosity kind of gets the best of you, and just kind of
take a quick lick,
lick down really quick.
Really quick.
Just a quick taste.
Nobody sees you do it, but you do get a flavor in your mouth. It does not taste what you think like it should taste like. Money.
No, umami.
Umami. Yeah. Oh yes.
Mushroomy.
It is pleasant. It brings back a familiar taste that you had when you were chowing down on some Humperdinck.
Oh. Tastes like home.
Oh no.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
All right.
Thunder and lightning strikes that it starts raining a little heavier.
Like I said, if the guild is looking, we probably should go and figure out what their deal is. Give me a second. Seth kind of pokes his head back into the main room. Yeah, Blake.
Yeah, what you got?
Know where the Hasp Market is right
Hasp?
now? Yeah, where they've set up.
I think they're over there by the market.
Yeah.
Just down by the market. Just look for the. I think they're by the one of the entrances to the sewers. Yeah, it's maybe. I don't know. They change spots. It's kind of like they're.
Well, I know. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Zeph kind of turns around. Fucking useless. All right. We can leg it. See if we can figure out where they're set up. It's a market. It moves. It's never in the same place. The guild runs it. So if we want to talk to the guild, best place to find them is in the market.
Do you think the guild will be able to help us get into the castle?
No more than Ciaran.
I think by that point, I finally make it back. Everything went great.
Good job.
A couple seconds later,
I walk in right after him, head still in my hands, like, if the guild didn't know, they do now. Or they will by the end of the day.
So your definition of great...
it went down the river where I wanted it to. Eventually.
And no one...
I mean, no one saw it was me. I was hidden.
Were you hidden like that?
Yeah, I absolutely fully recreate, up against the wall, white wall behind me.
If there was anyone that didn't see him out,
Is he trying to be hidden?
Good to know.
But now they'll understand our strength.
that is one way of putting it.
Yeah. So, I was just telling these guys, probably should see what the guild is up to.
Well, I mean,
one way or another, as long as we're in the Gutterrun, the guild is going to have eyes on. So better us go to them than wait for them to come to us.
So you would like for us to walk directly into the jaws of the beasts, the one whose members are equipped with multiple of these poisoned needles, daggers that nearly took the life of our friend here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Well, we should probably figure out who paid them to find out who killed the other guy.
Well,
it's entirely possible that no one paid them to do that.
Right.
Or rather, they are going to sell that information.
Trying to get paid.
Well, of course.
I assume.
I'd kind of like to know what exactly they know and why they're keeping tabs on us.
And going to them is your preferred method of finding this out.
Do you think everybody should go?
I mean, I think there's strength in numbers.
Is this like when you have a pest and you get rid of all of the pests? Because if you leave one, there's going to be more?
No.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That is how rumors and information spread.
So, I have a little experience with some spying and subterfuge, and usually the best way to go about it is not killing a bunch of people.
I'm not saying we should go and kill them. I'm saying we should go and try and find out what's going on.
So we just want to know what they know.
Yeah.
And to our credit, only about half of us have actually been involved in any sort of killing.
Also true.
This man killed himself.
That is accurate. But here's the thing. So the three of you guys who actually did the killing of the other person.
I mean, technically, I think only one of us actually killed him.
And I would like all of us to keep that in mind. The technicalities do matter sometimes. And being able to say you did not kill a man is valuable.
Yeah, and I mean, this one actually did kill himself.
Precisely. So none of us are guilty directly of murder.
No,
I'd say we are absolutely not.
No, if anything, we just witnessed a suicide.
Yeah.
Truly tragic.
It was.
Kua's like taking notes. Like, this is a lot to keep track of.
I agree.
Just like trying to learn, trying to figure out how to fit in a little bit.
It's much too complicated.
So, the only thing that I was wondering is, does it make sense to march up to these guild fellas with, I mean, let's be honest, some of you are rather intimidating looking, and make it seem like we're trying to start shit?
No. I figured we could find... look, these guys were flunkies, right?
Right.
They're low levels.
Right, so we want to talk to somebody that knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to find that.
But we're also going to try to be nice and persuasive, or are we going to have another person kill themselves in front of us?
I think nice and persuasive is probably the way to go with these guys.
All right, I just figured we should all be on the same page.
Fair.
So that,
Whatever gets me to the castle quickest. If talking to this guild is the solution to get us to the castle, then let's do that.
I won't say that it will help you get to the castle. However, if this information does spread, which we do not want, it would actively hinder your ability to get to the castle.
Yeah, it would be real hard to go to the castle if you're in prison.
I see. We'll follow your lead.
All right. So I try and find the house market.
Take some time. Give me I'll just do a instinct. See if you can let your senses guide you through. See if you can just read the local area and trying to see this is kind of like you guys going through asking questions about have you seen the Haas market, knowing which questions to ask to the right person, not so much like you're just going out looking. This is how well you can find it in a city where they don't want to be found.
Can I help with that?
Absolutely.
Not to be that guy.
Yeah, if you want to help, if you have something like an ability specifically, or if you just want to use a hope to add a D6 to the roll.
What I was going to do is I was going to ask people.
like
Okay.
on the street.
Yeah.
Because I'm a persuasive bitch.
Okay. So Alexa, you guys can either roll individually, or if you want to use a hope to give her a d6, basically rolling with advantage.
Yeah,
I burned all my hope earlier healing the mushroom. So.
I was going to try to be persuasive and use one of my experience to ask somebody that looks shady enough to know where it would probably be.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you find, let's see if you can find that person. Go ahead and roll a presence.
Okay. That's 19 on the dice with hope.
Yeah, get that hope.
Yeah. And using my my experience silver-tongued would make that a 21.
Nice. It does not take long at all. You find the person that looks like they just maybe down on their luck a little bit, and you know the right things, you say the right things, and they eventually they're like, it kind of like looks at the group and like, look, I don't know trouble, but it's over there by what the fuck is that guy's place called? The priest over there. I don't know the old. I don't know what the. He's stumbling with the words. I know what it is, but he's stumbling. He doesn't go to church, but
Father Vane.
Yeah, that motherfucker. It's
And so,
Keverin's Hollow.
I had grabbed one of the sausages
if you say so.
off my breakfast plate, and I still have it.
Okay.
So I'm going to hand it to this guy and say thank you.
Pleasure doing business with you. Like lightning, and it's like he kind of like covers the sausage and like starts like nibbling on it as he kind of like hobbles away. But indeed, over by St. Caravan's Hollow.
As we're heading that direction, because I know the way. I'll brief everyone. Actually, this is probably a good thing. They don't allow any weapons there, so this probably is good a shot as we have of a peaceful resolution as we can find.
And is it called the Hasp Market or
Hasp?
Hasp. Okay.
Yep, the Hasp Market. As you guys get close there, where are you guys ditching your weapons at?
Deeper within my clothes.
Okay.
My short staff is now my walking stick because I am very, very hurt.
Okay.
The only place that I trust, which is actually once we get there.
Okay.
Because they do have a reputation to maintain. And so I wouldn't trust my sword just stashed anywhere where somebody could come across it. I want it in good hands, and I know they will actually take care of it and return it because they do have this stellar reputation to maintain.
Okay.
I'd probably defer to Zeph, knowing the area, just kind of,
It's as safe as it's going to be anywhere.
I wouldn't leave my weapon anywhere, but if I have to, at least it would be closer.
Okay, Ciaran?
Ciaran's weapons are kind of made of bone and briar, and they could look like they're a part of him, but I don't know.
Okay. You can try to leave it, but you guys get over to St. Caravan's Hollow. It's raining, it's dark. The clouds have blotted out what little of the morning sun is trying to bake away at this thing as the storm comes over the onyx spires and just dumps down on the kingdom of Virelia. It is just a cacophony of lightning, more than usual, as you see several buildings get hit with some type of arcane, not even arcane, just an arcing lightning bolt that just sets like a wall or a chimney or something on fire. There's not really any grounding rods per se here, but it's just it seems more than normal as you go through. As you get closer to St. Caravan's Hollow, you can see the ominous silhouette of the steepled church. Used to be some type of hollow place. Some I don't know if anybody's familiar with St. Caravan's Hollow or has been there before. I don't know, you've probably been there a few times before, but what you see through an alleyway, tucked inside, you see a series of tents or market awnings that have been haphazardly made to shift, and there's people kind of like putting out sheets and blankets and things, but what you see before you is you see a figure kind of rising up through the soil of the ground, or like through whatever cracks, almost like roots themselves start growing around. You see vines kind of like grow and grab onto what looks like a wall of some sort. Kind of pulls itself up. You see that there are 3 of these massive creatures that are kind of pulling themselves up. You see like one like kind of reach out, grapple innocent civilian that is running away, just kicking and screaming. He kind of comes up, like puts this person to his mouth. Pauses for a second, just throws it away. The body flops onto the ground. He kind of like they get up. It just screams and runs away as this other kind of like pulls this other body in, kind of pulls it up close, just throws it away as kind of going through, pulls up another one as kind of like this person is like scrambling, slipping in the mud, grabs this person, kind of looks into this thing as he's like, kind of like screams. He pulls in, he's watching just crush this body and drop him. It goes through these 3 creatures are pulling these people in as they're trying to run around, like looks like they're running and trying to get away as their vines like reach out at impossibly long distances and pulling them in, bringing them in, discarding almost all of them except for that one person, but they are still going around looking.
That's not normal.
And that is where we're going to end our first episode of Daggerheart. Here down in the Gutterrun, we are going to pick up there next time. So thank you for joining, listening. We'll see what happens to our nice little not so common heroes. See if they can figure what this is. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.